All right. So basically, what I want to go over in this video is the tier list. This is not the tier list of what character is better than the other character. There's nothing to do with this. This is a melee tier list telling you who hits harder. You know, like if Broly, for example, hits 19, whatever. So this tier list is accurate, but I did upgrade this tier list. So now we have a. So this is the old, the old version that we had. This is the new one. So, which I'll be putting a link in the description for this, for this this tier list right here. So there's a little difference between these two. So let's say let's take first of all, S tier doesn't have Super Saiyan 3 Broly, and B tier does not have Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and H tier down here does not have Krillin. So you will not find any one of those three on this list. On the updated one, you will. However, on this list, the old list, these are not in order. So if you look at Super Saiyan 3 Goku, for example, is actually weaker than Gotenks, and is, I think, weaker than Super Vegeta. Whereas if we go look at the new tier list, not only do you have all the characters, all the transformations for all their melee damage, but these are actually in order. Whereas the strongest character in the game is Super Saiyan 3 Broly. The second strongest, Broly. The third strongest, Gotenks. And another thing is that I would like to add is that these are based on stats that I will get into here in a second. So this is all raw data. There is no opinion in this at all. So no one can say, no, that's wrong, or or anything like that. And I'll get into the details of how this is based upon, and how I basically came up with this list, so that way you guys can see more in depth about every detail about this list, and you'll actually be able to tell. Like, you'll be able, by the end of this video, you can pick out two characters, say Videl versus Broly, for example, right? And you would be able to say, okay, well, if the difference between Videl's attack power hitting 5x with Broly and Broly hitting her with a 5x, you will actually be able to calculate the difference before you even get into the game. So yeah, hopefully this helps. Let's go right into the boring stuff, which is the data spreadsheet, which I will also give you a link for that. Let's see. So here we are. Here's all the data. Now, this is a lot of stuff over here, and it means a lot, basically nothing to a lot of people, I guess. But these are your scores, and let me tell you how they were made, and then I'll explain it further. Okay, so I use base form Goku, right? You see 0, 0, 0, right? This is your baseline, which means I have everyone else in comparison to him. He is my denominator in this equation, right? So, and then if you look, defense score, offense score is right here. Your defense, your offense points are here. So here's how this works. So I'm going to compare him to Broly Super Saiyan 3 because I can bounce back like, hey, this is at the top, this is highlighted. So, alright, let's look at base form Goku's defense, right? If base form Goku does a 5x combo to base form Goku, he does 1805 damage. Which means if a base form Goku attacks my base form Goku, he does 1805 damage. So it's equal. So you have 0, 0, 0 because of that. It's all equal all the way across. However, for defense for Broly Super Saiyan 3 up here, if a base form Goku 5x combos a Super Saiyan 3 Broly, it will do 1625 damage. Then, if you take 1625 and subtract it into 1805, you will get your defense score, which is 180, right? So, oh Lord, I lost my place. All right, so you get 180. So that's how your defense score is made. The same way with your offensive score. If Broly attacks base form Goku with a 5x combo, you will have 2,165 damage. So that's the defense, that's his offense, here's his offense score, right? So, which, basically that means that, okay, 360 damage. Now, so that means that, that's how much extra offense he does. All right, so then you take these two numbers, you add them together, and then you divide them by 2, and it will give you the average, which is 270 points. Now, just so you know, we took the overall score and divided it by 2 to get an average between the two scores. But his score actually is twice this, which is 540 points. So we know that if base form Goku does a 5x to Broly, and Broly does a 5x back to base form Goku, he will do 540 points extra damage, right? Which can be said for anybody's average, anybody's. So let's do something real quick. Let's pick 2 random characters. I said Videl versus Broly earlier. I'm not gonna choose them again, just to kind of sake of randomization. Choose Cell first form, right? So Cell first form is -10. Okay, so he's -10, and then you would have to say Vegeta. No, let's do Kid Trunks. All right, Kid Trunks is -135. So -135, right? The difference between these two is what, -120. So that should, yeah, that's the difference between the two. So what we gotta do is then we multiply that by 2. It equals 240 points, right? So what we can do is let's go into Rage and Blast. Let's see if I can actually minimize Rage and Blast right here. Oh Lord, who did I choose for this? I know this is Cell. What is that, Kid Trunks? Let's click back down here, open up Notepad. It was 135, 135, Kid Trunks. Alright, sorry about that. So, Kid Trunks. Alright, so now if we go to the game, let's do this. Cell, normal, and Kid Trunks. I think we did normal. Alright. So it should have a 240 difference. Like, so my 5x versus his 5x should have 240 points of difference. We're going to check this out real quick. And then after this, you guys will be able to use this chart however you see fit. You'll understand the numbers. You'll understand the tier list. I made the tier list with the pictures just to make it easier on everybody, you know? So, yeah. Alright, I like being in the air, so. Alright, 1760, right? So let's do this. Cell 1760. So if we take now, before we even reveal Kid Trunks' we'll say Kid Trunks. Before we even figure out his points or whatever by testing it, we should already be able to use our spreadsheet to know. So we know that Kid Trunks is weaker than Cell, so therefore we know that there's a 240 difference, so we know that he'll be 240 points lower than Cell, making him 1520. So his attack power should be 1520, right? Alright, so how we do this, walk up to him, training, sway. Oh, 1510. Did I do some math wrong? I did. So you see where I did this right here? 10 minus 135 is actually 125. So that makes this 250, which makes this 1510. So that wasn't that was my fault. That wasn't even the spreadsheet's fault, but still showed you the example. So you know that if he's 10, he's 135. The difference between these two numbers is 125, right? I'm going to take up one more example, but I'm going to use a very extreme example, just so that way you know I didn't cherry pick anything. You know, I'll give you two examples real quick. Let's do the strongest. So Broly is the strongest. So we'll do SSJ3 Broly, who has a score of 270 points, which is insane, by the way. Like that, he is extremely strong. And then the weakest character in the game is Birder. Okay, so Birder. And he has a score of negative 562.5. Now, if we... I'm going to use a calculator, that way I don't mess this up again. Alright, let's see. If we use 562, since it's negative, we're going to add the two together, because we're trying to find the difference between the two. So it's 832.5, multiply it by 2, equals 1,665 damage difference. That is insane. Okay, so let's see if we can get this a little bit more organized than we did last time. Alright, let's see. So we're going to go back to the game. Alright, so Broly versus Birder. Alright. So let me go ahead and... I know I still have it on my calculator over here. So there's a 1,665 difference between these two. Right? Because the difference is what? 8... Whoops. The difference is 832.5, but you have to... but you have to multiply this number by 2, because this is how far you are ahead, but also this is how far they are behind you as well. So you have to multiply it by 2 to get that. Because since we averaged it, we have to unaverage it. I want to make this 950 damage. I want to have him do that one more time. Just double check, make sure it's accurate. 950 damage. Okay, so we know that Birder does 950 damage. So take our 1665, which is our difference, plus the 950 equals. So Broly should do 2,615 damage, which is insane. 2,615 damage. That's what we're aiming for. Let's see if our math is right this time. So first we'll go down training menu, not set. And there you have it. 2,615 damage. So I'm gonna pull up the here's the tier list again. So yeah, so these are the strongest characters, and if you look in the tiers, this is the strongest character in the B tier, this is the weakest character in the B tier, and these are all the variations, right? If you look on the Excel sheet as well, this is the strongest character in the game right here. I wish the one was slightly down. I'm gonna see if I can kind of edit that to where number 1 is here. If we can get this edited, then you will know. But basically, even if I don't, right? So you see number 1 is blank spot. So if I wanted to say Cell I would subtract 1, so instead of 30, it'd be 29. So I know that he is the 29th strongest character in the game. So that's another way to be able to tell. So that way this can do all the work for you. But yeah, so that's the tier list right there, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully this helps you out whenever you're picking your characters.